All right, we're about ready to be live on YouTube. Nobody get canceled. Also, I don't remember. You got to hit Goddard on here.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta.
You got it. You just start repeating. I'm feeling a wacky mood. This is gonna be good. It's gonna be a good podcast. I can already tell.
I think this is gonna be a very interesting one. Very interesting one.
Oh, wacky kooky Austin is the best Austin.
The only kind of Austin we want to see is wacky kooky Austin.
Oh yeah.
Last week we had quite a bit of chat in the.
We did.
It'll be interesting. I'm hoping to see more people on there.
Right, so now Rishi can't say stupid things in the chat and then me yell at him. I can yell at him in person now.
Let me know if I'm echoing at all because I'm playing my speakers out loud.
You're good right now. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, there we go.
Oh, by the way, I'm just gonna say I live a mile from the hospital. It's like every 30 minutes to an hour, an ambulance goes by. So
yeah,
I'll try to.
We all live downtown. It's fine.
Okay. I'll try to do this out as best I can.
The viewers now.
Okay.
All right. It's got to go into both chats because why not?
I throw it on my story every week.
Jerseys up there, Rishi?
Oh, hell yeah. I got Devin Booker.
You mean heck yeah, right? We're trying to stay monetized here.
Brother.
I got to make my 10 cents off of ad revenue. Come on.
I don't know how many bots you got watching the video, but
the one comment we had last week was like a Russian bot. Oh my God. I got to tell my roommate he can't vacuum right now.
We can't hear him. Or I can't.
Are we good? You guys can't hear him?
I don't.
No, I don't hear him.
Okay, we're good.
No, I think you're good.
Yep, we're chilling. All right. Oh my God, Anna just told me stop sending stuff in the SMC 21 chat. Oh, sorry, Anna.
Did you just send it? Oh, okay.
Goon.
Gotta match the socials. All right, gentlemen, are we ready to go?
I think so.
I'm chilling.
Let's go.
All righty, welcome back to the SMC show. This is episode 2 of our 2022 year. We are excited. Last week we got our big taste of football back, but this week we got our favorite back, the NFL. So tonight we're going to go over some of the key points. I know we missed last night's game. We tried to get there, but we had some conflicts. So we're going to talk about that Bills game. Then we're going to go on to our consensus. So as a group, we have to vote on who we think is going to win the divisions and then the 3 wild card spots that are available. As well as we're going to pick our own Super Bowl winners. I know it's really early to do it, but I mean, you got to be right or you got to be wrong now. So if anybody has some hot takes, we'd love to see them. Drop them on in there. You got some crazy teams winning. I know some of us might have some crazy ones. I'm going to introduce some of us. For some of you that are new, I'm Alex. I'm the host. There's Austin, Dallas, Adam, who is brand new to the SMC show, first time, and then Rishi down there on the end. Rishi and Austin are our 2 analytics guys.
Why'd you say it like that?
Analytics. And
you are a self-proclaimed analytics guy now, so I don't know why you're saying
that. Whoa. I dabble in both. I see both sides So, all righty. I think we're all set to go. We do have a big game to talk about last night. An absolute thrashing in Los Angeles with the Bills winning 31-10 against the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Rams. We got some feedback on the game, some hot takes, some who's feeling what team. Any Cam Akers owners in fantasy?
The guy I played against this week had Cam Akers.
I do have some stuff to talk about when it comes to the Rams. I don't really get it. When I look at the Rams, I don't understand what they were trying to do all game. It seemed like it was Cooper Kupp or nothing. And what I really am confused about is why did they sign Allen Robinson if they passed to him, I think once? They passed him one time for the last pass of the game as just a whatever pass.
Actually, he had 2 targets. He had the one thrown to him that he missed in the end zone at the end of the game, but he also had a 17-yard reception in the second quarter, I believe. So
Yeah, it was second quarter.
I think we're all still a little concerned about him. We don't know what they're doing yet.
I mean, when you pay almost $50 million on a contract for a player and you barely use him, it is worrying. I don't like. He's a very good end zone player. He likes to go up on the corner and catch passes in the end zone. He's very good at he can jump very high. He's a very athletic player. And he doesn't really fit with the Rams offense in the first place. I always thought it was a weird signing because the Rams like these long, fast players. Like they like quick players who are very talented and skilled and not very physical. So it was very confusing why they picked a very, in my opinion, physical wide receiver. And because I just felt like it wasn't going to work or they would have to change a little bit. But it seems like they're just trying to throw him in to a brand new system and just hope it works. Because it seems like he's not getting free. It seems like that they don't trust him to do the things that they want him to do, to make the plays that they want him to make, at least not yet. I hope that will change in the future for the Rams. But at the moment, it seems like Matthew Stafford's going to need some help because that was a terrible game by Matthew Stafford.
Hear me out here. So there's the whole Allen Robinson hasn't played with a good quarterback kind of meme, you know? How about it's like an inverse curve where the worse his quarterback is, the better he plays, you know? Because he had like Mitch Trubisky, terrible. Justin Fields, production dip. And then he goes to Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl winner, down in the toilet. Come on, think about it.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, no, I think you were talking. I think you made a really good point where we were talking about this in the chat last night too. It's just like they were as far down the field as a Rams offensive player was. That's as far as they were getting. They had no like after catch threats after Cooper Kupp, and it was just like if they're gonna sit in that shell, kind of like what teams did to the Chiefs last year, and not allow you to beat them down the field. If you don't have guys who can break tackles at that second level, it's just not going to be as efficient of offense.
The Ben Skoranek hate train is getting out of hand.
Oh yeah.
Here's what I have to say. I didn't feel like the scheme was very conducive. And when you look at their scheme of offense, it was, all right, we're going to run Darrell Henderson. He's going to get 7 yards. And then we're going to try and throw this random pass play where we don't know who is the gun we're going to throw the ball to. Oh, wait, Cooper Kupp's open. Sling it to him. It just felt like they didn't have a game plan for this Bills defense. And I don't think the secondary of the Bills was that good. You didn't really have Tre'Davious White on and on playing man-to-man on Cooper Kupp. You had Benford, Khair Lamb, and Johnson, as well as Poyer and Micah Hyde, but they still made the same mistakes. They allowed that Bills defense to put a roof over their coverage, which if none of you know what a roof is, when you play with 2 high safeties, these 2 guys are responsible for covering anything going deep. You put a roof on it, Austin.
I was following around so I could,
They cover everything, and then they force you to play to the inside, to play below that roof. And I think the Bills really accomplished it, and it showed when they tried to make deep throws. Micah Hyde, or I think it was Poyer, got the interception at the end of the game. Poyer gets that interception. So for me, I didn't like the scheme. I also have a lot of things to say about the defense, but we'll get around to that. Anybody else have anything overall big overarching takes about the game?
No, I just want to pop in on the Allen Robinson signing as well, Adam. I thought OC goes over to Minnesota, so I thought maybe a little bit of a new scheme, maybe add some new things, sign Allen Robinson, move him around a little bit. It looked like the same offense as old as well. And as you said, Allen Robinson is not that guy that can run after the catch, that can do all these things. He's an out wide guy. He's a street guy, 50-50 ball, jump ball. They didn't really put him in that situation at all. They ran 10-yard curls and shell defense. That's going to be locked up pretty well. I mean, they didn't put anybody over the middle besides Cooper Kupp. And that's all Matthew Stafford wants to look at is Cooper Kupp. So they need to really deep dive. And Sean McVay said today he'd like to get Allen Robinson the ball more. And that comes down to scheme, I think.
Good points.
I think
All
they
right, so-
lost because they didn't run the ball enough. That's my
Yeah. But I do have some of the stats from the game. Some of them I do think jump off the paper. Josh Allen had an 83.9% completion rate with 297 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and what I would consider 0 interceptions, because I think it was a big fault on, first off, Isaiah McKenzie not securing the ball and getting behind it. And then the next one, it just kind of felt a little,
No, that
Troy
first
Hill.
one definitely wasn't. That was like a good pass that he got
Troy-
intercepted on.
Troy Hill doesn't really get that pick in the real life.
The second
It's-
one was a real interception.
I don't know. But so that was a great game from Allen. 4 touchdowns, 4 total touchdowns. I mean, I know there was a lot of Vegas odds that were having him at the MVP, and he's shown that I think he might make that leap to that next level. On the other hand, it was not such a good game for Matthew Stafford. He had 1 total touchdown, 3 interceptions, was sacked 7 times, and had a 70.7 completion rate. That was the most times he has been sacked ever in playing for the Rams. 7 times. And they've got 2 new offensive linemen.
Yeah, that's bad because his time to throw in that game wasn't even that long. It was like 2.5 seconds, which is like the golden. You want to get it out in like 2.5 seconds, and he still got sacked 7 times. Like,
He had to get it out in 2.5 seconds.
yeah, because usually,
my player of the game, I know Josh Allen had a great game. My player of the game was Von Miller. I mean, what a mistake losing him by the Rams. Like that was a mistake not getting him back. Like, because he made it so easy for everyone else. I mean, you had to put almost 3 guys on Von Miller all night. And then everybody else started getting in, and Stafford was just overwhelmed. I mean, he was all over the place, and they were really having trouble. They were really having trouble with Von Miller all night. I have a fantasy league, and they put a D lineman in our fantasy league. Von Miller got 28 fantasy points last night. Like he was all over the place, and they just didn't have an answer for him. Yeah. And if he can keep that form up all year, I mean, it's going to be tough.
Definitely. Vaughn looked very good. And I was going to go to the Rams side. Losing Vaughn was a key piece, but losing Darius Williams as well. Their cornerback depth behind Ramsey is very slim. And even Ramsey got cooked. Perfect passer rating on Jalen Ramsey last night. If that happens most of the weeks, it's not looking good for the Rams.
All right, we're overreacting on the Rams a lot. I think.
After
1 week, I think this is potentially the worst they look in like a long time, unless they have more injuries or anything. Like obviously, I totally agree on everything about not having depth at the wide receiver, not having depth at the secondary, and I think the thing that hurt Jalen Ramsey more was not having that depth at the secondary. But like, I don't know, we're way overreacting to them because the Bills might be the best team in the league.
yeah.
I don't think we're overreacting because look at that defense. Ladies and gentlemen, defense wins championships in the NFL. And you know what they are not doing? They are not creating pressure on the quarterback. They are not covering in the secondary. This is a terrible defense. You signed Bobby Wagner to be your signal caller, and he can barely run sideline to sideline anymore. I believe that this team has gotten regression, and Austin knows he loves the word regression.
They have regressed
that
so it's hard. Not regression. They just got worse.
You cannot say. Sorry. Let me just. You cannot say that defense wins championships and then be like, oh yeah, it's regression, because analytics has taught us that that's just not true. It doesn't. But yes, Super Bowl hangover. It's real. The Rams have regressed in a few areas. I will say it takes a lot of luck to even get to the Super Bowl in the NFL. But I think that the Bills played a complete team effort, and the Rams were just a little off. Now let's not overreact here. Sean McVay still knows how to call it up. Matthew Stafford is still a good quarterback. They have like arguably the best players at 3 separate positions.
But let me ask you a question. Last night, if I put it on paper, if I gave you your choice, you could be Raheem Morris or you could, I'm forgetting the Bills defensive coordinator.
Leslie Frazier.
Leslie Frazier. If you could have been either of those, which unit are you taking last night? Because if it's me, I'm taking that Leslie Frazier unit and I'm dropping 7 and blitzing and putting 4 on the line every time, and I'm getting pressure. But if I'm the Rams, you're lucky that Aaron Donald even got 1 sack in that game. I mean, I'm just saying, I think this defense has finally realized that they cannot play the Brandon Staley defense they want to play. They have to learn how to play their own defense. And they can't nickel and dime their way through it like they think they could. And they got 1 interception. They just can't. I think they have to go back to the chalkboard and they have to go, Jalen Ramsey has to play man on your best receiver the entire game. No more putting him in the slot. No more putting him anywhere else. Aaron Donald has to play on the edge. And you have to put
what?
You have to take
talking about
Bobby Wagner out in certain situations.
I'm sorry.
I don't think that was like crazy.
What? Aaron Donald on the edge?
On the edge?
Bro, are you
I'm not saying on the edge, but play him as a defensive end more than a defensive tackle.
This is a bit, right? He's the greatest defensive tackle of all time. Like we're joking. We're doing memes here, right? I thought that was my job. Like I'm sorry, I disagree. I think it's
a little
ridiculous,
ridiculous,
if you ask me.
I think if you watch where the weaknesses are in the NFC West and where you can expose teams, I don't think it's on the inside. I think it's going to be between the guard, the right tackle, and the right guard slot. If they line him up there, I would bet you he'd put up the same numbers as last year, undoubtedly.
Crazy. So if crazy talented player gets put in a slightly different position, he might produce similarly. That's crazy.
When I meant the edge, I truly meant defensive line.
Bold analysis. Nah, I'm just giving you guff, but like, I think we are overreacting. Like, the Rams have been very good for a very long time with a lot of different players. I don't think we have to like say that, oh, they're mid now. Like, come on.
I was going to say a good test to see whether you're overreacting or not is how many wins do they have this year?
Or who? The Rams?
No, at the end of the year. What's your
right?
prediction?
Yeah, probably like 10. They weren't even favored to win this game anyways.
I know they weren't favored to win this game, but I think if we're talking about the Rams in the same way that they've been talked about, they're a playoff team. The Bills are clearly way ahead of them. So is this the time for somebody else in the NFC West to step up? We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah, it might be.
Are we all wrapped up with the Bills game, or do you guys want me to say some more crazy things, get the juices flowing a little bit more? All right. So we've got through the Bills game. We are now on to the biggest matchups of week 1. I'm just going to go through. If any of these games stand out to you guys, think they're going to be huge, just let me know. We do have the Raiders playing the Chargers, the Packers playing the Vikings, the Chiefs playing the Cardinals. I think that's going to be one of my interesting games. And of course, the Bucks playing the Cowboys on Sunday night. And then on Monday, Russell Wilson returns to Seattle. The Golden Boy of Seattle returns to play Pete Carroll. What do we think the most interesting game is, gentlemen?
If I was gonna pick out of all of these games, it has got to be Raiders Chargers. I mean, that is gonna be a show. You're gonna see one of the highest scoring games of the week on this one. If everything goes to plan, I mean that the Raiders offense just it's a lot. Devonta Adams and Hunter Renfrow, it's just too much. I don't know how you're supposed to defend that. I mean, you have 2 number 1. I mean, Devonta Adams is the second best wide receiver in the league for me, even right now.
J.C. Jackson. J.C. Jackson
is not playing.
I know he's not playing.
Oh, he's not playing?
No, he's not. He's not expected to.
He's not expected to.
But still, I mean, I haven't even talked about Darren Waller as well. Like Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow. I mean, Josh Jacobs. I don't know about Josh Jacobs anymore. I used to think he was when he first got in the league, but I mean, it's just last year was just not a great year for him. But I do believe in Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is one of the best QBs in the league. I think he's a top guy. And I think he needs to take one more step if they want to have a chance to do anything. Will he, if they want to win a Super Bowl? I don't know about that. I need to see some playoff success from Derek Carr before I say anything. So I'm not going to predict him to do insanely, but I think they're going to fight the Chargers for that spot in the AFC West, even though the Chargers are still a great team. You know, Justin Herbert is incredible. I think he's right up there with Josh Allen in case of talent. And I think if you just put, you know, a decent players, I like Mike Williams, you know, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, you know, they even have, you know, a decent running back rotation with Kelly and Michelle. So, you know, I think these two are going to be offensive powerhouses. They're going to score a lot of points this season. And it's just, I think it's just going to be an end-to-end game, touchdown to touchdown. I think you're going to see both teams score 30 points. Like, I really think it's just going to be a massive game. I think the Chargers are going to win, though. I think the Chargers are going to win this one. Barely, but I can see them going 1-1 against each other this season. But that's my big game.
I am compelled to agree. My friendship with the Cleveland Browns is over. I love the Chargers now. They're my team. But I just
join in, Austin. Join in.
From
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, no. I think so. But I think that the Chargers are becoming what the Browns were supposed to become after Baker's rookie year. I think, you know, just like a loaded team with a great young quarterback. I think they could be the best team in the AFC. Obviously, Buffalo shellacked a good team last night, so you know there's obviously that. But I think, yeah. Plus, you had all the drama factored in from the last time they played. Brandon Staley never coaches a dull game, so I think it's definitely going to be the most exciting. It's going to be the most exciting game of the week, especially because the Chargers are a little short on their cornerback depth, and the Raiders are loaded at wide receiver. So I think it should just be a good classic shootout.
I agree. I think the game I'm most looking forward to is seeing the Chiefs play the Cardinals. And for a good reason. I want to see what this Chiefs offense is. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know who they're going to throw it to other than Travis Kelce. We have never seen any of these guys line up with Patrick Mahomes throwing them the football. The defense, I'm really hoping that they took some step forward. Their offseason moves weren't the best. I won't agree with all of them. Letting Tyrann Mathieu walk, no matter how bad I think Tyrann Mathieu can be in moments, might hurt them. But I'm excited to see if this Kyler Murray team and these Cardinals are willing to come out week one and punch you in the mouth. Without having D-Hop and Rondale Moore, I'm a little nervous because you're throwing the ball to A.J. Green and Zach Ertz and running James Conner. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be interesting watch, and I also think it could be another shootout.
I'm kind of surprised this was your game of the week because I think these are both two teams that look completely different, especially on offense, by the end of the year. Like the Cardinals receiving core is going to be entirely different or at least, I mean, they're going to have DeAndre Hopkins back, so just their offense is going to look different by the end of the year. And then the Chiefs, like last year, I feel like their offense or their whole team was a roller coaster last year, and then they made the adjustments toward the end of the year and had their success in the playoffs. But I don't know. I mean, if you want to see how it pans out this week, then maybe it's exciting. But in general, I don't know. I don't see it as like really that intriguing of a game.
No, and what I want to see out of this game is the Chiefs defense. That new corners, Trent McDuffie in the draft, Justin Reed at safety. I'm excited to see the young corners and Snead and McDuffie on the outside and Reed handling the middle there and Nick Bolton there as well. The rookie last year played very well. So I'm excited to see if the Chiefs can take an up step on the defensive side. If they can, I think the Chiefs offense will be fine by the end of the year. I think it may take a few weeks for Patrick Mahomes to get continuity, but I think their offense will be fine. And like Rishi said, D-Hop out for 6 weeks. I'm not worried about the Cardinals. I want to wait and see when he comes back because I think they'll be a top team in the Nfc West. So I have to agree with Austin and Adam that Chargers Raiders have to be the game to watch. And I just want to see Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa on the edge. That's what I'm excited to see.
Alex Leatherwood wasn't even going to be able to stop him anyway. So
I can't wait to watch Brandon Staley play quarters defense against this team the entire game.
I think Broncos Seahawks is like the game that the fan bases of each of these teams is the most excited about. Like, obviously Russ is coming back to play the Seahawks. But for me, that's one of those games, like, I'm not watching that game. Like, that's that meme, like, I'm happy for you or I'm sorry for your loss. I'm not reading all I I'm not watching that game. And
you don't want to watch a
my
game
two favorite games,
started by Geno Smith?
Yeah, I don't know. If you're a Mountaineer, maybe you want to watch that game.
Fake football fan.
But no, I agree with everything Adam was saying with the Raiders Chargers game. They're my two top teams in the division, so I want to see that game. Same with Packers Vikings. I think that's one of the closer divisions, so I want to see how that game goes.
I'm interested to see how Aaron Rodgers adapts to this year. I think this is going to be the biggest learning curve year he may have ever had. And I know people will say, oh, his rookie year, blah, blah, blah. He's without the star piece of this entire team that made this well-oiled machine run, Devonta Adams. I want to see if Matt LaFleur says, hey, let's lean on the running game and let's go like 55% pass, 45% run, because I think they could be really good if they run. But for me, it's just, I want to see this game to really get the look if, wow, can the Vikings challenge for this division out of week one? Or is the Packers just going to destroy everybody like every year and then lose in the second round to the 49ers because Kyle Shanahan has the ultimate trump card, which is defense and special teams.
Yeah, I'm interested in that offense, that Packers offense, is the whole playing AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones at the same time on the field. Like it kind of feels like a little bit where the Cowboys always say, we're going to put Tony Pollard in the slot. And then he plays like 3 snaps from the slot. And I don't know, I'm very excited to see an AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones, both on the field at the same time thing. And I took a lot of AJ Dillon in fantasy this year.
Me too.
I did too. So I'm either biting the big one or he's gonna pan out really good. We have someone in the chat saying the Cowboys and Bucks game will not disappoint. Do we agree with that?
It was a great game last year.
I'd watch it.
I can't say what I'm gonna say because I have to save it for when we get to that NFC picture, because I got a lot of things to say, and the Cowboys are probably not the highest on my list compared to other teams, but
even Tampa, I'm not saying they're a lock for that division, even though the rest of the teams in
their division. I'm not putting Tampa on the lock either. I like the Saints.
Their division kind of sucks, but they're not a lock.
The Saints. I like the Saints.
Tom Brady.
I mean, I want to give it to Tom Brady. He'll win the division.
Dude, come on.
Tom Brady doesn't miss the playoffs.
If I had to put money on it, I would.
Tom Brady
I think it's a dogfight, though. I think it is week. Is it 17 or 18 now? I always forget.
18 now, yeah.
Week 18, we're gonna see Tom Brady fighting for a playoff berth, possibly. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think it's gonna be a lot more interesting than it's been in the past. I think maybe Carolina might come out and scare some people in the first few weeks of the season, instill a little bit of fear. I don't think they're going to be amazing. I'm not saying they're going to be great, but I think maybe they're going to be a lot better than wow, we can just run all over this team kind of game. So just saying, I don't think they're going to smoke everybody, go 11-5, make it out immediately. I think it's going to be a tough, not maybe 10-7 season, maybe even a 9-8, depending on what happens.
I think Tampa Bay still got too many weapons for everybody else in that division.
Tom Brady has literally never lost his division. It's I looked it up. He won 17 of 18 with the Patriots, and then they've won every year since he's gone to the Buccaneers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
but there also hasn't been that level of competition yet.
Okay, I mean, I don't know. I think New Orleans is fine, but I still have Tampa at 3 more wins than them at least this year. And it's like, to me, their division just sucks, but I don't think Tampa's going to be amazing this year.
Yeah,
That's
we
what I'm
can. I
saying.
feel like we can save this for the discourse.
I'm
for
not
the
saying
later
they're
part
not
of
going to win the. So do we have any other games of the week? Any ones I missed out on? I really went through the schedule and looked. No offense, the rest of it was kind of a lot of filler, unless you guys want to talk about the 49ers playing the Bears. I mean, anybody got any interest in that game? No.
This is
No
Trey
takers.
Lance. This is Trey
Colts
Lance
playing the
season, baby.
Texans.
Yeah,
I mean,
Colts, Texans
I'm interested in that game. Leonard's not playing. I just got the news.
That, yeah.
Leonard's out for this one. I don't know. I might want to get in this for the AFC South predictions. I'll get into. I got a lot of stuff to talk about when we get to the division.
Well, so if we are all ready to go, we're going to get into our consensus division winners. So I've decided to make it this format because it would take forever for us to talk about the five of us to talk about every team we like. And it'd probably end up making this episode 4 hours long, which I don't know if you at home want to hang out for 4 hours with us. I mean, we're glad to have you, but you can feel free to not if you don't. So we're going to have to vote. So we're going to have people, if you think a team's going to win, say that team. And if it is tied and there's one person on the fence, you got to sway that person to win. I mean, you got to sway that person to your side. You got to bring them to the dark side. I mean, so first division we have is what I think is a very big toss-up this year. It is the AFC North. I know where Dallas sits on this, so I'm going to let Dallas open up with this one.
Yeah, I think you know where I sit. Houday Nation all the way, Cincinnati all the way. So I am picking Cincinnati to win this division, but unlike unrealistic fans, I will be realistic. I think the Ravens have a very good shot to win this division this year. I think that the Bengals are a little bit better than the Ravens. The Ravens' depth isn't very good, especially on the defensive side. I know at corner they're a little iffy. Drafting Kyle Hamilton to pair with Chuck Clark in the secondary is very good. So if they can stay healthy in the secondary, I think Patrick Queen, very good. And Odafe Owe coming into second year, big things out of camp from him. I think they'll compete very well. But I think the Bengals, too many weapons. Jesse Bates was talking. They want to be a top 5 defense. 1 year of continuity together on the defensive side. Kept everybody together pretty much. Only loss was DJ Reader. I think BJ Hill can slide right in. He did get a pick on Mahomes in the playoffs last year. And then obviously first round pick Daxton Hill can come in and play a little hybrid safety here and there. So I got the Bengals winning this division.
I'm an agreeer in the chat. I think the Bengals are going to win too. I think that when I just strip it all away, when I just think about what wins football games, I look at who's got the best quarterback, who's got the best wide receivers, and those are the two that I really kind of look at, especially in a division like the North. Well, because it matters against teams with good defense as well. And I think that the Bengals have the advantage at every single position. I know it's hasty for me to say that Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson, even though he has won an MVP. I get it. But I just think, the league has had time to not, the league hasn't solved Lamar, obviously. But I think that some of that lightning in a bottle aspect about him has been muted as time has passed on. Same with Mahomes, we've adjusted to him as a concept. And I think that Burrow wins in a way that's kind of hard to adjust to, and plus they have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Their top three wide receivers are better than any wide receiver that the wide receivers that the Ravens have. So, I just think the Bengals, plus they bolstered the O-line. So going with the Bengals.
Don't say that about Devin Duvernay. He's a beast.
You
don't even.
Maybe in kick returns, but
no. You're gonna see him on posts this season, just straight seam and post routes, and he's gonna be torching the Steelers and the Browns. Torching.
You're picking Devin Duvernay over Tyler Boyd.
It's a joke. I'm also in agreement. I think the Bengals are going to be tough. I see it, like I said, kind of with the Tom Brady Bucs situation. I think it's going to be a tough division to win, but I really do. At the end of the day, I look at the teams, not really so big on the Lamar Jackson effect. With him now going to be on a possible franchise tag next year, I think he might try and prove his value. And, when he tries to prove things, sometimes it ends up in him making a little bit of a mistake. So I think, the Bengals are a really good team. They proved it last year. They were, like Dallas said, they've retained a core of players that are really good. They've added a few players in and out of that core. Their offense has gotten better. They got a better tight end. They've definitely bolstered the blocking. So I think, why not roll with the Bengals? It's not like Baltimore really jumped off the paper at me and said, wow, we're going to beat them. I think they might beat them one game. I think, like we said, for the Raiders and Chargers, might be a 1-1. But I got the Bengals winning the division.
I'm going to have to agree. I think it's going to be a lot closer. I think it's going to really come down to their individual matchups. I think it's going to get that close. Can the Ravens win 2 against the Bengals, or can the Bengals win 2 against the Ravens? I think that's where it's going to come down to. I think it's going to be very close. They're going to be one win at a push, 2 wins apart, because I really do believe that Lamar Jackson is a great season player in the playoffs. I just don't think there's something that happens to him in the playoffs. It just doesn't work out. But during the season, I mean, he's always a threat to win the MVP, and he'll always be unstoppable. So the Ravens will always have a chance to win that division as long as they have him, and especially if he's healthy. But the Bengals got too much talent. They got too much talent everywhere. They hopefully fix the offensive line at least a little bit. And if Joe Burrow can play that well with that bad of an offensive line, then if you make it just any better than it is now, it could get scary good. So I have the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, the way I broke down records was like definite wins, definite losses, and then games that could go either way. I have the Bengals at 10-2-5, Baltimore at 9-3-5, and Pittsburgh at 7-3-7. So I don't know, confident in saying Cincy, but if either of those other teams win, like, it just means I had a good season.
And I think, we can talk about this later, but I think for me, Baltimore is going to be a really good team that makes it in the wild card. I don't think they're going to be a team that jumps out and wins the division unless there's some crazy, Lamar Jackson's going MVP season, some injuries on the Bengals, some injury on some other teams, kind of allows them to beat up since they were very banged up last year. But I think they're a really good wild card team, so long as that AFC West just does not smoke everybody out of the water. All right, so we were in complete consensus on that. And now we are on to quite literally the hardest division to pick in football this year. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the AFC West.
For this one, can we say the full order? Say the full order, your first, second, third, fourth. Because it's so close.
Kind of defeats the consensus.
I'm saying for the AFC West, everyone should say I got this team first, this team second, this team third, and this team fourth, since it's so close.
I'm fair with that.
Okay,
I like that.
Okay.
I think
but then
we'll
have to aggregate who's number one though, so we can have an answer. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll figure out who's number one. I feel like it's going to be consensus number one, but that's just me. All right, Austin, you said you're high on the Chargers. Open up the floor.
I got the Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos. I'm not gonna. We'll debate later. Next person. Let's go.
Chargers, Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos.
Whoa. I'm gonna stick with Austin. I'm gonna go Chargers, Chiefs. I'm gonna flip this. I think Broncos. I think they find some continuity middle of the season. Nathaniel Hackett, it starts clicking. And I think Raiders coming last. I think that defense is just sometimes a little too underwhelming, and it's going to be tough. You're going to have to play air raid. You're going to have to play against air raid offense every week of the season.
I agree with Austin. I think it's going to be Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, but I could very well see the Raiders and Broncos at the end, maybe even the Chiefs as well, all have very similar records, or if not the same record at the end of the season.
I'm going to go a little bit left field here. Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos. I have the Raiders. I have the Raiders taking this top spot and you did say that their back line was a little weak. Well, they traded for Rock Yassin, got ready Yannick Ngakoue to to the Colts. And Rocky Singh is a very, very good player. I think you're going to see. I saw him a lot. He's solid, very, very solid, and he's a leader. He's a leader for that. He'll be a leader for that defense, and he is a very, very good player. He started his career with a lot of fouls. He just when he started, like it was just flags, and he has shut all of that down last season. I think he got one penalty, and he was our starter all year. So he's fixed the major mistakes in his game. I think they're going to bolster themselves on defense. And if that offense is there at the end of the season, I think they'll just take that top spot. But I think it's all going to come down to Derek Carr making the big plays in the big games. Can he do that? And I think he can.
So I'm currently looking at their depth chart. Last year, we talked about the insane amount of pressure that the Las Vegas Raiders brought. With the likes of Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue tearing up both edges. To me, they replaced Yannick Ngakoue with Chandler Jones, who I think, is getting towards the rougher side of 30, the time where we kind of see him slowly start to take that step back. But their secondary is really, to me, where it feels a little scary. You have Jonathan Abram playing at strong safety, and you have Trayvon Mooring playing at free safety. I think that's tough because when you get into these tougher games in the AFC, you have to guard 3 wide receivers. You don't have to guard one. It's not like I'm playing. I don't even know who to say has one wide receiver.
The LA Rams.
The Los Angeles Rams. You're not just guarding Cooper Kupp. You have to guard on a weekly basis 2 or 3 really good wide receivers who have, in the form of speed and release threats, the ability to beat you at every level. So I think those safeties are going to have a really tough time dealing with and helping out with a lot of heavy set packages. So if teams are willing to spread it out, those safeties might have to sit deeper, which may allow teams to run a lot more. So for me, that's the reason I'm out on the Raiders, because I don't think they're going to have that ability to get on the run and also make sure that they cover the secondary at the same time.
I will say this is like my favorite fantasy football division because I think any of these teams could put up 30 points in any week.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I do want to say, I feel like we are blaspheming a little bit because none of us picked the Chiefs to win, even though they've obliterated the division since Mahomes became a starter. I feel like we all want the Chargers to win, but I feel like in reality, part of me knows that the Chiefs are going to win. You know what I'm talking? I feel like we have to acknowledge that.
They'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs all make the playoffs.
I disagree with you, Austin, actually. I think that the Chargers brought in such a depth of talent that I think it beats that Kansas City pool that comes out every week. I think the Chargers have now covered up their pass rush in getting Khalil Mack. They've now covered up their secondary and getting J.C. Jackson, a secondary that was still really good, even without J.C. Jackson last year. And that offense has just had time to just be together. And I just think at the end of the day, there's a lot of fresh faces in Kansas City. And, that for those first 5 weeks might be those first 5 weeks last year where, we have to go back to the chalkboard every week and figure out what we did right and what we did wrong. And in that time, the Chargers could go 5-0. So I'm just saying week 2 is going to be interesting, gentlemen. We got those Chargers and those Chiefs playing, and if I'm putting my money on it right now, I have the Chargers beating the Chiefs so long as JC Jackson is there. So are we consensus on the Chargers winning the division, or are there any others? I know it was me. Rishi, did you have the Chargers as well?
Yeah. So
it was you, me, Austin, and Dallas. All righty.
I'll give
now,
Vegas a chance, though.
I would give Vegas. This was the hardest division for me to pick in my own head because at any moment I could have thought if one injury happens on one of these teams, a team could jump them.
Yeah, I think Vegas, Kansas City, and LA to me all have a chance, and then if Denver's better than I think they are, then who knows?
I still think the Raiders got the. I know it's a little left field. I'm not very statistic guy. I go by a lot of feeling and what I see. more than I do the stats. And I don't know. I just see the Raiders finally taking the step that they've just been not taking for so long.
The offense will have to carry the Raiders, in my opinion. Rocky Sin I think I see him as a solid cornerback too, but he's coming in there as a cornerback 1 because they did trade away Trayvon Mullen a few weeks ago to the Arizona Cardinals. I think that'll be a key loss for him. If they could have kept Mullen, the pair with Yasin, and I think Abram and Morgan are solid at safety, I think they could have competed a little bit more. But that's the only reason why I don't have them winning the division right there, honestly.
I think it's fair. All right. Well, we talked about them earlier in the show. Their division, the AFC East. I don't know if this is going to be a tough one.
Can we just
us.
speed run this one?
Honestly. Yeah. Are we all in on the Bills? Because I don't see anybody else.
You guys aren't picking the Jets?
Oh.
Did you see what Zach Wilson did in the offseason?
Joe Flacco comeback season? Joe Flacco Super Bowl season?
But Zach Wilson, he's the guy now.
Yeah. We got that.
An absolute dog.
So consensus, Bills all 5, or anybody got some Patriots takes that they feel they need, or Tua coming out of Miami and just dominating?
I'd say the
Pats have a chance to be the worst team in this division.
It's true.
Dang. Dolphins are a sleeper, but I can't fully invest in them yet.
Yeah, Dolphins are going to be okay. I think they're going to fight for playoff spot, but they're not winning this division.
Nope.
No chance.
All righty. Well, that was very quick. I thought we may have had a little more discourse on that, but that's what happens when you get to watch Thursday Night Football, gentlemen. You get to see the Bills just dominate for 60 minutes. Now, the most interesting division, in my opinion, the AFC South, the team that's just a walk away from all of our college campus. Who do we have winning? And I'm going to give this one over to Adam because I know Adam's a Colts fan, so I'm going to let him open this one up.
Thank you. Okay. So there's a lot of things when it comes to Indianapolis, and I wanted to bring this in. Just to remind all of you this. The Colts have not won the division since 2014. It has been that long since they have won this division. They need to finally win this. I am so tired of the Jags won this division. They beat us. They beat all of us. The Jags did. Like that you can't happen again. We have to win this division this time. I mean, last year we threw it away. We threw it away with our yearly loss to Jacksonville in Florida. So we do that all the time. I mean, the only issue is I know we're playing the Houston Texans first game of the season, but the Colts have lost their last 8 first games of the season. 8 straight first games of the season lost. So, and we know we're without Leonard for the first game. It is going to be I think the Colts are going to win this division because I think the Titans are going to take a step back, and I don't think the Jags are ready. And the Houston's Houston. I mean, good luck. Your goal is to finish under the Jets for the number 1 pick. So, the wide receiver depth, it's Pittman or nothing, really. I mean, we'll see what Alec Pierce can do. It's going to be a fight for who's the number 2, who's the number 3. They're going to be fighting for those positions, all the wide receivers that we have. But obviously, JT is the guy. Jonathan Taylor is the guy. Everything comes down to Jonathan Taylor. It's going to be him. It's Jonathan Taylor show again. He is one of the best players in the NFL, if top 3 player in the NFL. Should have won the MVP, but they only give it to quarterbacks. So
yeah.
And also we did make the playoffs, which doesn't help. But I also think, and this is going to be a hot take for me, Nyheim Hines is going to have the best season of his career and make the Pro Bowl. He is going to be used more than he's ever been used before. Matt Ryan loves a check down, and who's one of the best pass catching running backs in the league, Nyheim Hines is one of the best. I mean, we saw that in Atlanta with Patterson. I mean, it can be very, very effective. And Frank Wright has been talking about using Nyheim Hines a lot as a receiver and putting him and JT in the back. And Nyheim Hines is going to have an exceptional year. I think he's going to get 7 touchdowns this season. He's going to be exceptional. And I really hope that we use him, because last year I was very disappointed that he spent a lot of time on the bench. And we very rarely use him. We very rarely pass to him. And we just kind of used him to give some rest to JT. So, but I think the Colts have to win this division. I mean, if they lose it again this year, I think Frank Reich has to be under question about how good of a coach he really is.
Fire him. Fire him.
Yeah. I mean,
he's been on the hot seat way too long.
If they don't win the division, he's got to go. I mean, I like him. I think he's a solid coach, but I mean, it's a wide open this year. And why wouldn't we be able to take the step? I think we have the best talent as an overall team out of all of them in this division. I only see it. We should only lose maybe one game against all of our division rivals this year. We should take this division. If we don't, it'll honestly be a disgrace if we don't take the wheel in this division. The Colts have to win.
I think the Colts have to win. I don't think Tennessee is going to be that good. If none of you have heard, Derrick Henry's foot injury is the worst foot injury you could have to a running back in the history of injuries. It's worse than tearing your Achilles, worse than tearing your ACL. Breaking your foot the way he broke his foot, it's called a boxer's break. It is terrible. The worst thing that can happen, and he didn't look very good. And what I've heard out of training camp is, they've kept it very quiet on him. So I don't know if he's going to return to that full strength. Ryan Tannehill is Ryan Tannehill. He doesn't have many people to throw to, unless we're counting Nakeem Westbrook-Ahine as wide receiver number 1, Robert Woods, who's still recovering off of an injury, and Treylon Burks, who looks very out of shape. Just not a very good not a very good team. Their defense is probably going to be good, but in all reality, I believe Jacksonville will jump them by the end of the season.
Yeah, I was going to say, all right, for my thing, I will just do a little group activity here. All right, raise your hand if you think Matt Ryan is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence. Only 2? Okay, he is, but whatever. All right. Here's
the thing I think about. If I'm a general manager right now and you can give me Matt Ryan or you can give me Trevor Lawrence for 2 years, I'm taking Trevor Lawrence because he can develop really fast.
Okay, fair enough. But you get the exercise I'm going here. Do you think Matt Ryan's a better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill?
Right now, yes.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay.
I think it's fairly close. Like, it's not that.
It is close. It is closer than people think, but he is. I know in my bones.
Yeah, I agree.
And then do you think Matt Ryan is a better quarterback than who they got? Davis Mills?
Davis Mills.
Yeah, Davis
Yes.
Mills.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Like, it's in a division that's kind of talent depleted, honestly. Then I'm looking at it like, who do they got that's like that good? Derrick Henry was that guy, and now it's Jonathan Taylor. There's like 2 good wide receivers in this whole division.
If you want to pay Christian Kirk $64 million, you can have him for 3 years.
Colts have one of them, and the Titans have the other one, but the guy on the Titans tore his ACL. So, yeah, I just think that consistency is what's going to win this division, and I think that the Colts have the blueprint for the most consistency. They have a good offensive line. As much as I don't think running backs matter, Jonathan Taylor is very good at what he does, and they have a solid foundation for their offense that can just be added on with a good quarterback and a good wide receiver. So and their defense is solid. So their avenues to winning, I see the Colts have the most avenues to winning the division.
Rishi, what's the chart say for this one? What does the Excel document tell us?
Hey, this one is a doozy, man. But first of all, why didn't you tell me all that about Derrick Henry before I drafted him in fantasy? That you should have told me about that.
I drafted Derrick Henry too. I have Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have to really dig into listening to NFL podcasts. You just quit listening to music. You start listening to NFL podcasts every day. You'll learn tons of things. You'll learn everything you'll ever want to know about football. I promise.
But I don't know. I think in one sentence, it's like I think the winner of this division is the team that just wakes up on the right side of the pillow like enough Sundays in a row. Like I don't know. I have with the whole win-loss games that could go either way thing. I got Tennessee at 7-5-5, Indy at 6-4-7, Houston at 4-7-6, and then Jacksonville at 2-7-8. So I don't know. Like I think Houston and Jacksonville have similar ceilings. Indy's got the highest ceiling. And if you asked me 2 days ago, I would have said Indy's going to be the winner of the division. But I think Tennessee, even though they're going to have a worse year than last year, might still be able to win it. And then I think if Indy and Tennessee both fall asleep, my pick is Houston. But for tallying purposes, I'll say Indy.
Indy. Dallas?
I'll make it Indy across the board, but I think Tennessee will make it very close. I don't think
You said the name of the podcast in the.
Exactly.
Let's go. Roll credits, boys.
We're done. All right, we're done, guys. We're done.
Been nice. All right. Sorry, that was I had to say something.
You're good. No, I think Tennessee will make it close. I do see him regressing just a little bit, but I think Robert Woods will come back healthy in a few weeks and be fine. I think Traylon Burks will develop just fine. That out of shape stuff that was early on in training camp. I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine. And Nick Westbrook will be okay as a third option. I don't jump off the page, but their receiver never really jumped off the page at me.
Anyway, I think he should be number 2 over Traylon. I think Traylon's going to take some time to develop into his AJ Brown role. I don't think it's going to be like an immediate, maybe like year 2, year 3. We're like, wow, he's actually really good. But for me, it's just not going to be this year. I think he's just going to get a little stifled by a lot of these teams that Tennessee will end up playing.
Yeah, I can see that.
So we went Colts around the board. So let me recap for you guys. We have the Bengals winning the North, the Chargers winning the West, the Bills winning the East, and the Colts winning the South. Now, with our brand new lovely NFL playoff format, we get to pick 3 wildcard teams. Of course, I feel like that first wildcard team was someone we all mentioned in that AFC West, the Chiefs. Do we all agree on the Chiefs being the number 1 wildcard team?
Yes.
Yes.
They're in. I don't know if they're
I think they're in no matter what in what spot they're in. I think
they'll be 1, but I could see them being 2.
All right, now 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is where, I'm a little confused personally. I would like to say Baltimore, but I could also fight for a case of Denver or Vegas. I really like Vegas. After what Adam said, offense does win a lot of games. That defense will be a little shaky, but at the end of the day, I think they'll scrape out some wins. I'm willing to put Vegas at 2.
Yeah, I would say Baltimore would be my 2. I just think that it's like because obviously I feel like they've had 1 billion injuries last year. Every year they've been healthy, they've been a really good team, and I think that people are forgetting. I just think the Bengals are a little bit better, but I think that Baltimore definitely still has the requisite juice to be that, behind the Chiefs in terms of the wild card rankings.
Yeah, I would have to agree with the Ravens. I think the Ravens are definitely going to be in there. And of course, I'm the only one who's picking the Raiders, so I would have the Chargers in there as my next one. But if we're going with the Chargers winning the division, I would have the Raiders in that 3 spot.
I said the Raiders should be in spot 2. I think they're a really good team. But, I do think that 2 and 3 slot are very interchangeable. 1 game or 2 games will really decide that. So I'm fine with the Ravens. So I'm going to flip mine and go Ravens.
I think it's going to be AFC West, Ravens, AFC West. I don't care what order it goes. I think that'll be the order. So I think it'll be Chiefs, Ravens, Raiders. I think that's who I personally have right there at the 1, 2, and 3 wild card spot.
I agree. I got the 2nd and 3rd place from the AFC West and the 2nd place from the AFC North.
Yeah.
Maybe Miami, maybe Denver. I don't know, but nah, that's what I got.
I was gonna say my only team that I have slept on is Miami. I want to give them a few. I want to see how they look. I think they could be a very interesting team.
Yeah, I think the Denver. I know we haven't really talked about them as much, but like, come on, Russell Wilson is like over the past 10 years. Can you like name 5 quarterbacks that have been better than him? Plus, he has like a good roster now. So I don't know. I could see Denver being like another sleeper team.
The coaching is my current problem. Nathaniel Hackett does not have a proven track record as a head coach. And in your first year, you've gotten lump summed into a division of the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. I just don't see it panning out the way we think it's going to pan out. They're going to be a good team. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think they're going to be competitive enough to compete down the line later in the season with a team like the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Chiefs, who have sustained success over the past like 2-year block.
This is fair.
So are we agreeing on the Raiders and the Ravens? Is that who we'd like for that? All right.
Yes.
Now we are on to maybe a little bit harder of a division. I know the AFC is full of good teams, but the NFC is not completely full of them. So we're going to have to pick some interesting games. First, we have the NFC North, which to me is quite possibly right now one of the most open divisions to win. Outside of the Bears.
I as a Lions fan, as a lifelong Lions fan, I want them to win the division. I want it so bad, but I know that right now they just can't do it. Jared Goff isn't good enough. They don't have a good enough defense, and Aaron Rodgers is like God in the North. Like he's like the king of the North or whatever you want to call him. As much as I hate him as a man and a football and a quarterback, you know, and no Aaron Rodgers love over here. That guy's crazy and cringe. Good combo. He just never loses this stupid division, except for like when the Vikings had like a god defense and Case Keenum IVing like the secret truth of the universe for 1 year. It's gonna be the Packers, but Detroit will look better, but still be third place. That's my Lions spiel.
So you have the Packers winning.
Yes.
Huh, interesting.
I'll come back with that with the Packers winning the division. But some interesting news. Alan Lazard just went down from questionable to doubtful for this week's game. So I'm interested to see who Aaron Rodgers will pick as the receiving targets. Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson.
Sammy Watkins, baby. Week 1, Sammy Watkins.
See, I saw that tweet too.
Who's going to be the wide receiver one this week? But ultimately, Aaron Rodgers is too good, and Green Bay's defense will be the best defense in that division, and Green Bay will win the division.
Yeah, hear me out here. He does enough ayahuasca before a game to see Romeo Doubs as Devontae Adams, and he's like, "This is comfortable to me now." And he throws it, and then it's all good. It's all good. That's the strat.
Well, I'm going to go off the page a little bit here. I like the Vikings. I think they've maybe made some. I know their roster wasn't like a huge rebuild, but they've made some little tweaks. They've tweaked I meant to say tweaks, but yeah. Thanks for that, guys. They've made some tweaks. They've tinkered a little bit with the team, and I think Dalvin Cook can't get hurt for another year. I say that, and he'll probably tear his ACL week 1. But Kirk Cousins is a solid quarterback at the end of the day.
It's true.
The man is just mid. So mid.
He's not mid. He's better than mid.
Okay, he's like number 14 out of quarterbacks.
Well, take it or leave it.
I'll give you 13, and we'll call it a day.
All right.
But I think consistency at wide receiver and at those skill positions over the year will be helpful. Not to say I don't think Green Bay is not going to make the playoffs. I just think maybe this year is the year where the Vikings beat them twice in the division, and if they can beat the other teams, which can prove to be a problem if you play the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. I just see the Vikings, having one of those seasons what they had a couple years ago when Stephon Diggs was there.
I mean, yeah, I feel like if there's any other team you could pick, it's the Vikings. But
I mean, I kind of agree with the Vikings. I like the Vikings this year. They have one of my favorite players in the league, Justin Jefferson. He's a beast. He's a monster, absolute monster on the field. Adam Thielen is a very experienced player, has some injury problems recently. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him, and especially the Vikings, because that 1-2 punch is a really good 1-2 punch with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, two extremely talented players there. Dalvin Cook, of course, is a great running back. I would have him in almost any team in the league. Kirk Cousins is a above average quarterback. He's better. He's better than, I would put him better than most of the quarterbacks in the league. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a really rough time on offense, especially if they have an injury crisis. If they have injuries, they're going to be really thin, very, very thin. I think this division comes down to who can stay healthier longer, really. And I like the Vikings, but I just can't get over Aaron Rodgers. He just wins this division. He just does. It doesn't matter. He'll win this division. He just will this year. And I have no information backing that other than Aaron Rodgers just win. He's a winner. He just wins. And I think they'll find a way. They'll dig deep. The defense will help him win some games, give him in good positions. And if you give Aaron Rodgers 2 minutes to score a game-winning touchdown, he's probably going to do it. And if they do just enough, I think they'll win this division. I have the
just don't let the special teams out. Just don't let the special teams
out. No special teams.
No special teams this year.
That's what I keep telling you. You got to just not punt. Don't be a baby. Go for it.
That's what the Bills did the last time they won.
I love exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because they're Chads, and it's awesome when teams go for it on fourth down, and it's cringe when they don't. That's my official stance on the
All right, Rishi, are we in on the Packers or are we out?
Well, I mean, I grew up a Lions fan, so I'm never in on the Packers. I have Minnesota ahead of them right now. Some of that is just like because I placed a 1,500 or plus 1,500 bet for Minnesota to be the number one seed in the NFC, just because I think the NFC kind of sucks compared to the AFC. But like, if you're asking me right now, like, I don't know, like Green Bay probably does win the division, but I'm saying Minnesota. And I have the Lions at 6-6 with 5 games that could go either way. So if all hell breaks loose, maybe they could win the division, because I think their ceiling is about 11 wins. But I don't know. Yeah, Minnesota's got a chance. I think Adam Thielen might be the second best receiver in the division. So, I mean, I think that goes. And also, I wanted to say earlier, we were talking about how Derrick Henry, like the injury is going to carry over or whatever. I'm honestly more concerned about Dalvin Cook's injuries carrying over, but I think Alexander Mattison will be fine if he has to step in.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I think I talked to you about this, Rishi, that if you take away the last 2 minutes of each half last year, the Vikings finished 15-2.
Yeah.
And they are the 1 seed in the NFC. So if they can clean that up, get some ball control in, I really love the additions of Booth and Scene on the defense, 2 great rookies. I think the Vikings could make some noise.
So what is the consensus? Because we have 2 Vikings on the board, and we have Dallas, who's kind of sitting in the middle right now. Dallas, Packers, or Vikings?
I'm going to end up going with Aaron Rodgers. I just can't bet against Aaron Rodgers winning the division right now.
Austin, we can't let this show say that we're picking the Packers. This is.
I know. Listen. The only thing.
It's Jameson Williams' season.
JMO, it is. Aiden Hutchinson is gonna moonwalk on Aaron Rodgers's like, what's the word I'm looking for here? He's gonna OD on the field, and then Aiden Hutchinson will like just moonwalk on him, and then Dan Campbell will elbow drop Aaron Jones. It's gonna be sweet, but
yeah, I think that's a great place to end on the division right there.
Yeah, no, though, yeah.
Yeah, and remember, the Bears suck. We'll just leave it at that.
The Bears are omega.
Because you guys know what Matt Eberflus and his team are going to do this year? they're like a middle school football team. They're going to run hard. They're going to tackle. They're going to have tons of energy. They're going to play nobody who's relevant, and they're going to lose every game.
Nah, Justin Fields isn't that bad. He's gonna take the step.
It's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be bad now.
A quick question: do the Bears win more than one game?
Yes,
they can. Yeah.
Yes.
I just think they're absolutely terrible.
They play some bad teams. They've got.
Yeah, they do play some bad teams, but I just think that they're just bad.
They could win a Giants game, a Commanders game, a Patriots game, an Atlanta game. If you think Dallas isn't going to be good this year,
Chicago, Atlanta, sign me up.
They played the Jets.
Who's the quarterback? Who's gonna be the quarterback for the Jets during that game?
Well, I don't know. Robert Saleh keeps saying Zach Wilson's going to be back, and then keeps pushing it back, but it's in week 12. So.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Zach Wilson's playing quarterback. Give me the Jets, baby.
I'm actually on the Jets if Joe Flacco's playing.
I'm
even Joe Flacco's kid knows he sucks. So that's how you know it. That's how you know.
Okay,
it's bad.
I want to revisit this in 3 weeks. The Joe Flacco debate.
Yeah, every wide receiver at the Jets has said they like Joe Flacco a lot. So
he is better than Kirk Cousins. I don't know why I just said that. But
I was one of the. If you guys remember,
Rishi's new hot take for the week: Joe Flacco is greater than Kirk Cousins.
How many Super Bowls does Kirk Cousins have?
Can I read you a list of names of the quarterbacks with higher PFF passing grades than Kirk Cousins last year?
Brother, PFF has an anti-Joe Flacco agenda, so
it's Joe Burrow. It's Joe Burrow, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers, and that's it. So Kirk Cousins is not mid. He's better than Joe Flacco.
Alrighty. Well,
sorry.
We had that debate.
We'll go with the Packers.
It is now on to what I also believe is a very interesting division, the NFC West. Just like the AFC West, I think there are 3 teams. We're subtracting Seattle out of this equation. That could win this division, realistically. There's a lot of question marks around a few teams. Quarterbacks, mainly quarterbacks. Few wide receiver problems. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. We're going to start off with Rishi on the right. Rishi, what does the Excel doc say?
So after the Rams loss, I got them at 7-3-7, Arizona at 7-3-7, in San Francisco at 6-5-6. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm a Stafford fan, so let's go to the Rams.
Oh, Rams. Okay.
Gotta be. I was gonna say, who wants to go next? I feel like I've been talking a lot. Alex, go. You can go.
Cardinals, baby. Kyler Murray's gonna show that contract clause was not needed, and I just think the Cardinals are a better team. I like their defense. Really big fan of like their Budda Baker kind of deal. You know, the ability to have him as more of like a very big utility piece. I don't know. I just think the Rams might take a big step back, and I don't know. It's just a gut feeling. Like there's no numbers to back this. There's no nothing. I'm just spitballing that I think the Cardinals, you know, after they get D-Hop back, they might just be a better team.
Okay, so
I'll double down. You want to go, Austin?
I want to talk about the 49ers if the group will indulge me. Can I talk about the 49ers? All right. So you want to know who led the NFL in yards per pass attempt last year? It was Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo sucks. He's bad. He's not good. He's worse than Kirk Cousins. I don't care what anybody says. All right. Now they have a quarterback who can actually like play football, which is crazy to me. And he's really good at running. I think that like Shanahan, I feel like they have the prerequisite dominance. They've won the division before, and now they have like a quarterback who I am just so excited to see. But I just want the 49ers to win because Shanahan always makes offenses work, even when he has it's crazy what he can like whip up league leading pass effective offenses with. And now he has a good quarterback. Like give me the 49ers all day, baby.
Can I Can I
It's
go?
fine. We'll get back to my D'Amico Ryans take in a minute. It's okay. I'm going to talk about defensive coordinator. It's okay.
All right. So I'm gonna take the Rams here. I feel like it's gonna be. It already looks like a slow start. Maybe a little bit of Super Bowl hangover, maybe a little bit of rustiness, and a couple new big players that they have to move into the offense, and some players that left. But I think they'll fix it. I think they'll start slow and they'll end very, very strong, and then they'll take this division pretty easily. I think the Cardinals are a good team, but they're not going to have D-Hop for, I think, he's suspended 6 games.
6.
I think the first 6 games of the season, which is going to be, a big hit in their depth. Zach Ertz. I think Zach Ertz is a good player, but he's kind of getting up there in age. I think his production is going to start slowing down a lot. He'll become more of a blocker, which is not really what he is. He's an elite pass catcher, but I think he'll just be a little too much for him. I just see the Rams strong into the season, winning this one.
I want to pop in with Alex, and I just have a feeling that Kyler Murray will have an MVP type of year this year. I think Kyler Murray will play well. I do not think the Hopkins suspension will be that much of an issue for him. He's got his college teammate in Hollywood Brown coming over. I think they will have a strong connection for the first 6 games. I think him and Hopkins at week 7 will be a really tough duo to defend in a spread Cardinals offense. James Conner, I'm not the biggest on James Conner. He had a lot of touchdowns last year. I think that will regress a little bit. But the defensive side of the football, I love Budda Baker, love Isaiah Simmons as a hybrid role. I talked about the Raiders trading away Trayvon Mullen. I love Trayvon Mullen. I think he will be a great corner for them. I can see the Cardinals winning this division, and I have them winning the division, but I got to say, I love Trey Lance. I'm excited to see him play. So the 49ers are a sleeper, in my opinion.
All right, let me get on my high horse of I love NFL defensive coordinators for one reason and one reason only. D'Amico Ryans, baby. Last year, he was able to put together a playoff caliber defense with not only one active corner. He played one corner who had played from week 1 until the end of the playoffs. He played one active corner. And so long as Jaquiski Tartt doesn't drop that ball, we would have saw a 49ers-Bengals Super Bowl. I think people underrate the fact of what defensive coordinators can do. And I believe that Brandon Staley effect is now in complete control. D'Amico Ryans will show up this year and show out. And this, in my opinion, might be the number 2 defense in the NFL. I'm going to go number 2.
I'm going to switch my pick to the 49ers because then because did you pick the Rams, Adam? Okay, so I think your mic's off, but
Oh yeah, I picked the Rams.
So I'm going to pick the Niners just because, the more I think about it, I'd rather bet on the 49ers than the Cardinals. But I think it's really close. And I think it'll be interesting. And they play in week 18. So I think if we split the division here, then we can say that game decides it.
I'm actually going to flip my pick and go with the 49ers as well. I think we're going to go with 3 49ers. I don't know. My mind's like D'Amico Ryans is just gonna get himself a head coaching job this year. He's probably gonna take over for whoever's in Houston right now.
Did I get that whole thing in there? Oh shit! Never mind. Sorry, it doesn't have the whole thing in there. Sorry, just keep going. I'll figure it out.
All right, so 49ers it is, gentlemen. We had quite the split on that one actually, but 49ers coming from me, Austin, and Rishi.
I'll go back on the Rams. Whatever.
All right. So we're gonna put TBD on let's just go Rams out of the West at this point.
God, why doesn't it work? Sorry.
We're just gonna go Rams because I think I think we all just agree that the Rams are going to end up making it. But, the 49ers will slide in the wild card, maybe even the Cardinals. Now, my favorite division.
Let me get this to work.
Some people have heard about it already. It is the NFC East. And I think this year, ladies and gentlemen, that Howie Roseman and the Eagles have pushed the chips to the center of the table, and they are going to win the division. Undeniably win the division. I think the Cowboys have clearly shown that they are not willing to invest in their team, have not stepped up and put defensive pieces on there. They have one of the worst corners in yards per play given up last year. And I think this Eagle team has gotten 10 times better with the acquisition of A.J. Brown, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, as well as a draft in Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean.
Yeah,
to me,
I'm with you all the way, Alex.
A front four, like if I'm lining up against a front four and I'm an offensive lineman, I do not want to take on the Eagles front four.
Yeah. No, like for me, it's like they improved the most in the offseason. They have the best offensive line in football. They have a really solid quarterback. They have a deep bevy of playmakers with like a Pro Bowl, all-pro caliber level receiver in AJ Brown. And now we're going into the second year of Devonta Smith, who I feel like kind of got swept under the rug a little bit last year. He was really good last year. He had
991 yards.
Yeah, he was really good. And now he won't have to take on the best cornerback of the other team. And it's like, Dallas just got worse. I love Philly. I want them to win this division so bad, and I think that they will. Also, I want to amend my previous statement. Jimmy Garoppolo was second in yards per pass attempt, and what I was trying to do there was trying to get a meme that said like my reaction to that information when you guys picked the Cardinals. But I couldn't get the text to get in there, so that's what I was doing.
Okay. Also, I believe there's one piece that you missed out on. His name is Dallas Goddard, and he is like a beast. He can inline block. He can stretch outside and play in the X. Just an amazing guy. I just feel like the Eagles have quite literally the easiest division this year. A Commanders team, which looks a Giants team, which looks like it got worse somehow. Don't know how that happened. And a Cowboys team who is historically disappointing.
Yeah. I feel like Alex and I are in rare agreement here.
Oh, I'm going to triple down. Fly, Eagles, fly. I got the Eagles winning this division. One name you didn't mention on the defensive side, James Bradbury coming over from the Giants.
He's good too, yeah.
I can't wait to watch this defense. I think they'll be one of the top defensive units in the league. James Bradbury, like you said, Jordan Davis, first round pick, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Fletcher Cox is still there. He will mentor Jordan Davis.
Brandon Graham,
Brandon Graham on the edge this year.
Amazing draft pick.
He's about to eat it up.
And I think Jalen Hurts will play very well behind that great offensive line.
Great with a capital G.
In a deep offensive line. They have the third highest spending in offensive lines over the past 10 years in the NFL. And there's a reason for it, because when somebody gets hurt and Sua Mafilio has to come in and play right tackle, he's going to get the job done. They
have real hitters coming out of the woodworks just everywhere on that offensive line. I swear to God. Go Eagles. I like Jalen Hurts is my fantasy, my quarterback in my main fantasy league. And I'm riding the wave, you know?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely got to be the Commanders. You know, Carson Wentz is going to throw 4 interceptions a game, fumble the ball 18 times, and they're just going to get it done. No way. No, it's the Eagles. It's the Eagles all the way. I mean, everything you guys said, they just have such a good all-around team, and it's growing and it's getting better. Everybody else in their division arguably got worse except the Commanders. Maybe they did lose Chase Young. I don't know how long he'll be out, but he's one of their best players. And trust me, with the year of Carson Wentz, I like Carson Wentz, but man, when he gets under pressure, he does some weird stuff. You have no idea what you're going to get. It's going to be very, very weird. I am willing to watch that connection between Scary Terry and Carson Wentz, though. If they get that connection going, that'll be. Scary Terry might have one of his best years because he has had terrible quarterbacks.
Okay, so I have like a tangent question. Who's had worse quarterbacks, Allen Robinson or Terry McLaurin? And is Carson Wentz the best quarterback that Terry McLaurin's ever had?
I would say Terry McLaurin has had 7 starting quarterbacks, I believe, in 4 years. And
yeah, I'm going with Terry McLaurin in this one. I kind of feel like it's due.
I feel like Carson Wentz is sadly this Carson Wentz right now is much better than anything he's had, and that's
Magic
not
went to
good.
Harvard though, so I don't know.
This is true. I got a picture with Ryan Fitzpatrick, so
giga brain moments.
Yeah, but I always like Scary Terry. He's from Indianapolis, born and raised in Indiana.
But
Colts
he went to Ohio State.
I know,
which is cringe.
Yeah, it's cringe, very cringe. But born and raised in Indiana and Colts fan. I wish we could get him. I've been begging for the Colts to jump in there and sign him, but no, the Eagles should win this. I am a little worried about Jalen Hurts. I'm not sold on Jalen Hurts yet as a top QB. I think he still has a lot of things to prove, and the QB is the most important position. So when it comes to playoff success, because I think they're going to win the division, when it comes to playoff success, we'll see. I think it's going to be the first test of the Eagles, and we'll see how good they can do. But I think the Eagles have this pretty easily. I think they're going to they got this top spot.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles have the best, like as good of a chance as being the number 1 seed as anyone in this conference. And the whole Dallas Goddard thing, he was my 3rd fantasy tight end behind Andrews and Kelsey. Jalen Hurts, I just love Jalen Hurts as a leader. I don't know, seems like a good dude. Seems like a good guy to have in the locker room. And then great receivers. I'll give Dallas a chance, but I think that's more because of a guy like Micah Parsons. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't think Trayvon Diggs is going to have as many picks as he had last year. Amari Cooper. Ezekiel Elliott is still getting paid more than the entire Oakland Athletics roster.
And no Gallup.
Yeah, and the Gallup's out right now.
Gallup's out for a while.
Eagles across the board.
Love to see it. He
said the line.
See it. And we got the line in there. All right. The division we debated a little bit earlier, the NFC South. I'm actually going to rescind my take. I'm just going to go Tampa Bay. Tom's the goat.
Oh.
I was just kind of seeing if I could stir the pot early in the show, and I got some shots fired back at me. But now that I look at their wide receivers, Chris Godwin's hurt, but they still have Mike Evans, Julio Jones, Russell Gage, Leonard Fournette. Their offensive line's a little banged up. Their defense pretty good. Hopefully they don't have as many injuries as last year, but I got to go Tampa Bay. I would like to see the Eagles beat them, though, in the divisional round. I'm really hoping and praying for that. That would be a really beautiful moment in my life to watch the Eagles win.
Can't see it. Yes, that is an image of Tom Brady kissing his child on the lips. It's a perfect segue into why I think that the Buccaneers are going to win. It's Tom Brady. He's literally the GOAT. No one else is even close. He's lost his division 2 times in 20 tries. I saw somebody in the chat said that, I do think the Saints won the division that year. They made the Super Bowl, right? Because they were a wild card team. But come on. This is Tom Brady we're talking about. He's the GOAT. And I would say, I know everybody, there's been some discourse around their offensive line, but Tom Brady is bar none the best quarterback at not taking sacks. People don't talk about it enough because he's not traditionally athletic, but he just doesn't take sacks. It's insane. And I think that it's not going to matter as much as people are making it out to be. And he's still Tom Brady and he's still the GOAT. So, yeah.
But we've never seen him play when he's getting a divorce. So you never know.
Wait, is he getting divorced?
Yeah, I think that might just make
saying.
That might just make him better in all reality.
Why do you think
he's got nothing to do with his life now but play football and eat avocados all day. So
exactly.
he's just going to be a beast. No way around it. I don't really see anybody else arguing the Saints. I tried to earlier and it didn't go very well.
The streets is talking.
I don't know. I mean, I have Tampa at 7-2-8, and the next highest team is New Orleans at 4-5-8. So like I have Tampa probably being worse than last year, but like probably won't matter.
Yeah, I don't think there's a Super Bowl winner in this division. You know, Tom Brady's great, but there's no
The greatest.
I'm Colts fan Peyton Manning, but I'll concede that. I'll concede Tom Brady's the GOAT. But yeah, it's just a bad division, isn't it? It's just not a good division. The Buccaneers, I think, will edge out the Saints here. Falcons and Panthers, no chance. The Buccaneers they're older. I think they're an older team. That might cause injury problems again, but it's like, especially because how much longer is Mike Evans going to be a great player? And Godwin's really good. I like Godwin, but he's also had his injury problems. I think they're going to feel the injuries again this season. So I don't know, but I still think they're going to win this division. I still think they're going to look very impressive.
I got to give 2 player props for the people right here. Jameis over 36, basically 3,600 yards, 36.25. And Julio over 525 receiving yards.
Julio's
I forgot about that.
I think
Are you kidding me?
all he has to do is stay healthy and beat out Russell Gage for the wide receiver 3 spot, and he hits that easily.
This is still Julio Jones we're talking about here. He's the second best wide receiver of the past decade. And he's a little long in the tooth, but come on, man. This is Tom Brady. He made Antonio Brown look super effective, and he was kind of washed a little bit there. So I think, I forgot about that. Yeah. So come on. This is Tom Brady.
All about Julio's hamstring. It's all about Julio's hamstring.
Yep.
Dallas, are you in on Tampa Bay or?
Yeah, Tampa Bay's got too many weapons. They're going to win this division. The Saints may come within 2 games, but that's all I give them, within 2 games.
Can I do my spiel for Baker, because he's my guy? I think the Panthers will finish second place in this division because Baker Mayfield is the second best quarterback in the division. They have a bevy. Actually, now that I kind of look at it, they actually do have some pretty good offensive skill position players. Their offensive line isn't terrible. Their defense is pretty solid. I mean, this is the recipe for a dude like Baker. Just give him a good environment, and he'll fire off a top 10 season. He's done it before.
Remember, he has Matt Rule at head coach.
I was going to say.
We have to take everything with Matt Rule with a grain of salt.
I think it's more likely that their coaches are fired by the end of the year than them finishing second in that division.
Can I put a bet on this somewhere? Just lay that one out on the line.
Absolute scuffed parlay.
Matt Rule files for unemployment bet.
Plus 350 by week 11.
All right, so we're all in, and now we have our wild card picture to fill out. I feel like it has to be the NFC West. Could we all put all 3 teams from the NFC West
The Vikings.
So Vikings, I have Vikings, Cardinals, 49ers.
Yeah, I'm saying there.
Didn't we pick the 49ers to win the?
No, we went with the Rams.
Wait, what?
Well, Rishi flipped at the last minute, so then it would have been a technical tie. So I just put the Rams there just for it's the Rams.
However,
now this is my reaction. Now this is my reaction to that information. What are we doing here, fellas?
There's a chance the Niners don't make the playoffs, but
what?
There's a chance.
They had Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback for the past. They almost won the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. For that, Kyle Shanahan deserves
a knighthood.
Yeah, I don't know who's gonna get it from now, but what? Anyways, I wanted to say something this whole time, but we'll see. Anyway,
okay.
I'm glad I segued that.
Vikings, 49ers, and Cardinals. In agreement, or is there anyone else we want to throw in there? Because
I'm in agreement with there, and maybe the Cowboys. I don't see how they'll be close. So maybe the
I
Cowboys,
think-
but I'll agree with those 3 teams.
Just for the sake of the show, I'll say that the 3rd place in the NFC West misses the playoffs because the Cowboys take that spot.
Okay, so we have quite a bit of Cowboys takes. Adam or Austin, actually. Austin, are you in agreement with me, or you think Cowboys take spot number 3?
I mean, like, what are the odds that 3 teams from each of the 2 West divisions make the playoffs? Come on. And
All right, look, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go 49ers / Cowboys, and if someone's right, someone's right. You can own that, but if others are right, others can own it.
It's
They are
also
not-
it's not just a game of what team do you think is the best. Like those NFC West division, that division has to all play each other. So there's a couple losses
Exactly.
there. Dallas has to play Washington and the Giants twice a year. So
you raise a solid point.
You do raise a solid point. I'll give it to the Cowboys, but if
The
the
Cowboys
49ers
definitely could. The Cowboys
If the-
definitely could make it.
If the 49ers make it, I won't be mad. All right, now the more fun part. This is an individual one. I want you gentlemen to pick your AFC and NFC teams for the Super Bowl. I know it's very early, but you might as well get it out there already. And if you're right, you're right. And you get to gloat about this in 4 months or 5 months. I mean, I'm just gonna go. I have the Chargers playing the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Totally crazy idea, but I think the Eagles just somehow look really good through the entire year, and they make it to the Super Bowl.
All right, if I wanted to pick with my favorite teams, yeah, I think where I'd go there, but I'm gonna be a little more realistic. I do have the Chargers coming out of the AFC, and in the NFC, man, it's tough in the NFC. I think really any team could come out of there. I am in agreement that the Philadelphia Eagles could make the Super Bowl, so I will go with the
My
Eagles.
Eagles, baby, just keep on flying, baby.
Eagles fly. If I was gonna pick, I have the Bills coming out of the AFC. I think, and the reason I don't have like somebody like the Chargers is because I think the Chargers have a lot of really tough games, and I think they're going to be way more tired than the Bills are going to be. I think the Bills have a much easier division to win. I think they'll have it wrapped up early, and I think they'll finish top of the AFC. So I think they'll have more time to relax, more time to rest players. And I think that'll be the big difference for them getting there. For the NFC, it's really tough for me, but I think the team with the best defense is going to go there. I have the 49ers. I have the 49ers making the Super Bowl again.
They didn't make it. They didn't make it last year. They got close.
Yeah, but I have them making. They made it recently.
They made it the year before.
They made it the year before. So I have them coming back into the Super Bowl because they've been there recently. So I'm going to go Bills 49ers.
This was tough for me because I like Buffalo, the Chargers, and Cincinnati better than everyone in the NFC. But 2 of those teams, if they advance, are going to have to play each other in the semifinals or whatever you call that round. Divisional round. But I don't know. Yeah, I'll take Buffalo. I think they're head and shoulders probably above anyone else in that conference. I took Minnesota, I guess, against them in the Super Bowl. I don't know how much I love that. I'll go with them. I don't hate saying Philly. I don't hate the 49ers doing the whole San Francisco Giants thing where they make it to the championship on odd years or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Tom Brady gets it done, but I'd say Minnesota. Sure, why not?
All right, is it my turn? Hi, my name's Austin Anderson. I don't know if you guys met me. Any of you guys not picking the Buccaneers to win the NFC are foolish. Dude, it's Tom Brady. What are we doing here, gang? Like, come on. This is the face I'm making over here where you guys are picking the Eagles and the Vikings to make the Super Bowl over Tom Brady. Like, it's Bucks. It's gonna be the Bucks Bills. Come on. Like, what are we doing here, gang? Like, Tom Brady has proven time, especially in a historically weak division, that like his only competition is going to be the team with the other really good quarterback in the division. And it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, and they always somehow mess it up. And Tom Brady never messes up because he's the luckiest player ever. I mean, I'll go on record saying that, but come on, what are we doing here, gang? It's going to be the Buccaneers out of the NFC.
It's just no fun to say that Tom Brady's going to win again.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm really just tired of
recognize.
this.
It's not fun to recognize excellence, but you got to do it when you have to.
All righty. Well, anybody got any changes? I would just like it to be noted that the Bills actually won our AFC, and the Eagles technically won the NFC. In all reality, based on picks. Based on picks. 3 people picked the Bills, 2 people picked the Eagles, and then there was a Minnesota, a 49ers, and a Bucks. Austin, I just can't wait to see Philadelphia in the Super Bowl, and it's
You
it's
can
gonna
clip
make
this. I will wear a JT Barrett jersey on across the board if the Eagles make the Super Bowl.
I
You
don't
can
think
quote-
it's crazy.
You can quote me on that. I think it is.
I think I'd take Tampa over them.
I would permanently move residents to the state of Ohio if the Eagles make the playoffs. Or no, sorry, if the Eagles make the Super Bowl. I'll put that one on the.
Hey, clip that before you corrected them.
Yeah, clip it, ship it.
Oh no, it's been typed down. JT Barrett, if the Eagles make the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So can I?
Alrighty,
I'll move back to
our favorite time of the week. I know it's everybody's. It is hot take time. Let's hear some hot takes, guys. I want some steaming ones this week. Didn't really do a lot of research into what happened last week. In all reality, it was Austin. Did you know if yours hit? Because I mean, we can go back.
Utah State lost by 55 points.
Okay. Yeah.
I know mine didn't hit. Mine was Oregon.
Oh, sorry.
I think I had Utah beating Florida, so we're hitting 0-1s right now.
I'm at the top of the leaderboard at 0-0. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna let Rishi start it off, and then Adam, since they haven't had a hot take yet. So Rishi, who's your hot take?
Unfortunately, I have a bunch of long-term ones in my brain. The only short-term one that could be judged by next week is college football. And maybe someone could argue this isn't a hot take, but Michigan's favored to win by 52.5. I'll take them to cover. I'll take Michigan to cover against Hawaii. I'll throw a couple of just crazy ones out there. Because Adam got to say that Nyheim Hines is going to be a Pro Bowler this year. I'll give a Colts one.
I'll say Eagles are going to make the Super Bowl.
Okay, that's not that crazy. They're probably one of the top odds. Or I don't know, but I'll say Alec Pierce finishes as the wide receiver 1 for the Colts. I put a bet on Houston to make the playoffs at 1,500 because I think they could potentially win the division if everything goes wrong, and they're the worst odds to make the playoffs, so it's worth taking a flyer on them. Took Herbert MVP. Yeah, I don't know. Those are my hot takes.
All right. Well, I've got 5 now logged down for you. So we'll see if any of those pan out. All right. Adam, it's your first time. It's time for you to drop your hot take.
Okay, well, I think I've had one really big hot take. Nyheim Hines is going to make the Pro Bowl this year. I have a little bit of insider information on that. Nyheim Hines is going to be very, very involved in the offense this year. Very involved, like the number 2 option in the passing game. So if everything goes to plan, especially if he doesn't get injured, knock on wood, then I think he makes the Pro Bowl. And a big one that I have for tomorrow is just a singular game, something that I picked up on the NFL week 1. The Browns are going to beat the Panthers in week 1. They're going to beat them badly. They're going to stomp them. I don't know why. I just feel like the Browns are going to win by 20. I think the Panthers are going to have a bad first game. I think the Browns are absolutely going to pay Baker Mayfield a visit in that week 1. So there's a week 1 prediction for me.
Alice, you're up next.
Well,
really go with Rishi here, and I looked at the college football slate for this week, and a team that really impressed me last week, I know they lost, was App State. Really impressed me on the offensive side of the ball against North Carolina. And I will say this last week that Texas A&M were my frauds. So I am going App State over Texas A&M tomorrow. You mark that down. App State will beat Texas A&M.
That is a huge I love it, Dallas. You know, as a Kentucky fan, it's a beautiful moment in my heart for you to really hate on Texas A&M. As being your roommate, you know that's going to make me happy. And it's a great pick. It's a great pick. Texas A&M suck. The only reason they won was because of the rain delay. Nobody cares about them. They should be 6. Austin, let's hear.
Wait a sec. Okay, can you guys
This could be going so many different ways.
Oh gosh.
Austin, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry, Alex, do yours real quick.
Huh?
Alex, do yours real quick. I gotta prepare mine.
All right. Well, I'm looking at the NFL Week 1 schedule, and you know, I'm feeling a little mischievous this week. Feeling a little mischievous, and I got the Tennessee Titans taking an L to the New York Giants, and I'm going to parlay that with the Seahawks beat the Broncos in Russell Wilson's return to Seattle.
My brother, what does that pay out at?
Oh, no, and I'm not old enough to bet, but if you're feeling like, you know, that's a good bet, you can make a future bet on that one. And
I could put a bet in for that. You know, I think I'll get like $1,000 for $1 for that one.
I'm just saying, I'm just going with the flow. I think Geno Smith, you know, has a very reminiscent moment of you know, college, and you know, maybe Russell Wilson takes an L to Pete Carroll and he requests a trade next week.
Also, just for the record, before the Austin Anderson music starts playing, I'm switching the Houston playoffs like hot take to the Minnesota #1 NFC seed one.
All right. I'm just going to add that in, actually.
Austin,
No, we
we
cannot.
can't hear you. No.
Headphones, brother.
Here, I'll just slide in another hot take right now. I know I didn't pick them on the consensus side. The Cincinnati Bengals are going back to the Super Bowl.
I love it.
Well, it's not gonna work if I wait a sec. Yeah, I can. Okay, I got this.
I'm very confused on what's going on, Austin. I've been typing for the past 2 minutes.
Don't worry, I got this. All right, can you guys hear it?
Hold it closer.
All right.
I'll look closer, yeah.
You guys hear the John Cena music?
No.
Just say John Cena.
Oh God, come on, dude. This sucks. Okay.
Sing it.
I was gonna do this whole thing where it's gonna be John Cena's walking music, and I was gonna put a picture of Spencer Rattler behind me and say that they're gonna beat Arkansas this week. But yeah, that's my hot take. I got South Carolina beating Arkansas because Spencer Rattler is my GOAT. He's my guy. He's my muse. And he's gonna absolutely mollywomp Arkansas.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are you going to buy a Spencer Rattler jersey now that the NIL has allowed names on the back of jerseys?
I feel like I have to at this point.
And are we going to see it on an episode 1 week?
Yes.
Okay. I like it. All righty. Anybody got any last minute? Let's check the chat before, you know, maybe we'll do a little Q&A here. They got some. We got a very interesting one from Daniel Lynn. Trayvon Diggs went from very bad corner his rookie year to a very good young corner at 11 picks. If he makes the same size jump for year 3, he could be a top 5 corner.
He's been doing this whole thing where he doesn't look at the quarterback, and it's like it's messing with his head, and he's like messing up in training camp. So like if any of that's lingering, then I'm not putting a bet on Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, he sucks. He gave up the most yards per route. So no, he sucks. He's a terrible corner. He got lucky and got 11 picks last year.
He's mid. He's cringe. L.
Plus ratio.
Plus ratio.
Stephon stays on top.
Plus he fell off. Plus, the hood watches Markiplier now. I don't know. Anyways, I
like his kid though. Cool
yeah,
kid.
no, but I think that
his kid's great.
the most volatile thing year over year in the NFL is turnovers, and I think that if you're banking on a guy to get more than 11 interceptions to improve, maybe he doesn't get as many picks, but I just like that it's weak. He's weak when he has to keep the receiver in front of him, and when the picks aren't there, like
who gets more picks this year, Micah Parsons or Trayvon Diggs?
Oh, Micah Parsons.
That would be so funny.
He's gonna do what the guy did for the Bills last night, where he bats it down and catches it every play.
That was so unfortunate.
Yeah,
I just want to see week 2, Trayvon Diggs against Jamar Chase. If he locks down Jamar Chase, I may give Trayvon Diggs a chance to be a top corner, but I got Jamar Chase putting 150 on him.
All righty, well, it's been a great show, gentlemen. I'm so glad we've made our brand new NFL picks for the year. And if you guys at home are interested on being on the show, just reach out to me in the group me, as well as you can reach out to me over email. I'm not going to give you my email on here right now because I don't need people sending me spam. But if you want to reach out to me, we'll get you on the show. We're so glad to have you all here. We're so glad to hear from all your takes, except for Austin, because he talked about Spencer Rattler in this episode.
That's my guy right there.
So it's been a great week, guys. Next week, we might go back to the normal style, so long as there's not any crazy new things. I don't know. World Series, the end of this MLB season hasn't wrapped up yet, so I don't think we're going to go into our MLB deep dive episode. But it was great to have you guys, and can't wait to watch some football this weekend and see my picks go good. It's been a good show, gentlemen.
You guys.
Yes.